Hey, science class, welcome to the chemical reaction lab. So the other day we got to do a reaction with a set of items. So we worked with some calcium chloride, which you can see is kind of like the little white pebbles here. And then we also had some baking soda, kind of that fine white powder that's in the bag. So we put that in a bag and just kind of had kids examine it. So we wrote down, what did we notice? We noticed that it was white, and we noticed that the calcium chloride was very firm and hard. It was very hard to break it, actually. The baking soda was kind of a fine white powder. Okay. And then we were going to carry out this reaction, we also needed something called phenol red. And so it's just a red liquid here. It's an indicator solution. I'm not going to tell you what it's going to indicate, just I don't want to give anything away. But it's red, and then it's mixed also with some water. Okay. And so then the lab went down where we, after we made our observations of what we noticed, I asked everybody to think about what do you think would happen when we put these two together? There's going to be a chemical reaction since it's a chemical reaction lab. So take a moment, pause. What do you think would happen when we join these two items together? We're going to add phenol red into the baggie with the calcium chloride and the baking soda. Notice if you can't think of a whole lot, at least this one's red, this is white. So I guess I'd call the question, do you think anything would change with color? What color do you think it might go to? Okay. I'm going to get my safety goggles on while you finish pondering that. All right. Looking pretty styling here today. All right. So next little step is I'm going to go ahead and add 10 milliliters of the phenol red into the baggie. And we're going to watch what happens. Once I add the liquid in, I'm going to work to push out as much air as possible and then seal it up. Okay. Here we go. Ready? Here we go. Can you hear that? Wow, I see a lot of stuff right there. Okay. The next thing I asked them to do is to try to mix it. Whoa. When I touch right here, I know you can't feel it as you're watching the video, but it's warm. Holy smokes. Wow. It's really hot over here in that corner, actually. Like hot is in like, fairly decent warmth. I'm not going to burn my fingers on it, but man, that's hot. All right, so hopefully you're noticing a couple of things. So then the next thing I would have them do is, all right, we've watched this reaction for a little bit. Hey, wait a second. I pushed all the air out. You see that? Go like this. What? I swear, I pushed the air out, you guys. There's air in here. What is going on? Crazy. So all of a sudden I noticed, so my white mixture of stuff, okay, it was like this before. I added the red phenol to it, phenol red, and now I've got yellow. Hopefully you notice there was a ton of bubbles that were there. It is hot to the touch. It's still very warm. Okay, like not that I can't hold it like this, but man, that gets warm after a little bit. I don't want to hold it for very long. All right, and then there's air in the bag. Huh. So in the realms of I notice, I think, I wonder. So the notices, I've got yellow, there are bubbles, there's air in the bag, and it's hot to the touch. I can also hear it fizzing still. I don't know if it'll catch on the... Maybe you can hear that fizzing. I'm not really sure. All right. But I'm hearing I'm noticing all that stuff. So I would then start to do a think. Okay. So why do I think it turned yellow? If I don't really have an answer for that, I better put something over and wonder. I wonder why it turned yellow. Because maybe you thought it was going to turn pink. Okay. You had red and white. Red and white usually makes pink, but all of a sudden I've got yellow. That doesn't compute. Okay. Next, it's hot. Man, it's still really warm to the touch. All right. So, what are your thoughts? Do you think it turned hot for a particular reason or it's feeling hot? Or maybe you're wondering, why is it so hot? Ouch, that is really warm. All right, next, I've got bubbles. It's fizzing. There's air in here. I sealed it shut, so you didn't see me open it and blow air into it. So, do you have a thought about that? What are the bubbles? What is this air? Why is there air in here? So if you have a thought, go ahead and write down something that you think. And if you're not really sure, maybe you should wonder. And that is our chemical reaction lab. I would like to show you. This is about 24 hours later. Definitely cold to the touch. I feel really big chunks of stuff in here though. That's really different. I don't know if you can kind of catch that chunk of solid there with a lot of liquid. There's still some of the little pieces in here, but they're definitely not shaped the same. There's still some air here. If I shake it, I don't hear any fizzing any longer. And I did tell my classes there's nothing living in this set of stuff. Okay. So interesting. So there is post about 24 hours compared to current just done. When I had one more question for you. So once we added in this liquid and we sealed the bag, what do you think happened to the weight of all of the stuff here? Do you think that weight increased? Do you think it decreased? Or do you think it stayed the same? So something else to ask yourself with this lab. So chemical reactions, pretty fun times. Thanks for your time.